Okay, Jai Hind everybody. Artificial intelligence and its latest variant, the generative AI, has taken the whole world by storm. In fact, there is no sector today which is not touched by AI and generative AI. And of course, it has also affected the defense forces also in a big way. In the entire war fighting philosophies, this is going to be embedded in an outstanding manner. Number of countries who are at war currently, whether it is Russia, Ukraine, or Hamas, Israel, and those countries are already practicing it. Others who are hoping that someday they may get afflicted for the some kind of conflict or war, they are also preparing themselves accordingly. The Indian Defence Forces are also seized with this requirement in a big way, whether all the three services are concerned, or the three integrated service headquarters are concerned, whether the DRDO, which is providing the requisite support, is concerned, or the industry currently, which is mushrooming to support the defense industry, they are concerned. So everybody is talking about the AI, generative AI, and number of other niche technologies, because AI and generative AI also come with number of other technologies along with them. It's not that if you don't know quantum computing, blockchain, and number of other things, so in isolation you can understand and employ AI and generative AI. So today we are very fortunate to have Dr. Buddha Chandrasekhar amongst us, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Anuvadini AI. More on this later. Of course, in addition to that, he is a Chief Coordinating Officer of AICT in Ministry of Education. He has invented Anuvadini AI, which is able to translate any content in 22 Indian languages, which is part of the our constitutional schedule. And he has been also kind enough to agree that he will be providing this Anuvadini AI to us on our website platform. So let's say suppose you are want to, you have published an article, but somebody is from Maharashtra wants to see it in Marathi. So it can go drop down, take in Marathi, so that chosen subject will get translated in Marathi. Now you will find these features in Google Translator also. But the Google Translator, I have marginally used it from Hindi to English and English to Hindi. Once you convert the English to Hindi, the sentences which come, they are not natural actually. It becomes very cumbersome for a person. Whereas Anuvadini AI goes much beyond that. It captures the natural way of a particular language is formed in terms of phonetics, in terms of grammatical inputs, and in the flow of the language. So more on this after his talk gets over, we will have a MOU signing so that we get Anuvadini AI and our website. It will be, I think, the first one in the country to have these 22 languages slotted on that, so that entire effort which you all are doing, that can be made to reach maximum people, and that is the purpose of any research. With that note, I will hand over the responsibility to Pranav Shah to speak the speaker before we request him to speak.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, sir. Dr. Buddha Chandrasekhar is a distinguished leader in the field of education and technology, currently serving as the Chief Executive Officer of Anuvadini Foundation and the Chief Coordinating Officer at the All India Council of Technical Education, Ministry of Education, Government of India. With an extensive career spanning multiple ministries and sectors, Dr. Chandrasekhar has made significant contributions to India's education landscape, particularly in skill development, digital transformation, and advanced technologies. He has also been instrumental in spearheading national initiatives such as creating of the Indian language translation tool Anuvadini, the National Education Technology Forum NETF, and National Digital Education Architecture NDEAR. His expertise in artificial intelligence, machine learning, cybersecurity, and blockchain has been pivotal in shaping education and technology advancement in the country. Dr. Chandrasekhar's visionary approach, coupled with his hands-on experience in managing complex projects across diverse domains, continues to drive innovations and digital empowerment in India. We welcome you, sir.
Good morning all and namaste to all. So thankful to Center for Joint Welfare Warfare Studies for inviting us here. As an Indian, I'm always wants to serve to my country. Maybe not from the army side because I'm a technologist. So from a technology point. So in 2015, there is one incident happened, event in Bihar, where Honorable Prime Minister promised to the nation saying that we will give engineering as well as non-engineering subjects in Indian languages. Sure. So that's where the thought started, and I was in US that time. I felt very happy because I studied in Telugu medium. So when I studied in Telugu medium, first time when I saw English book, I felt so discomfort. And most of my classmates are not able to make it just because of the language barrier. Luckily, मैंने रट्टा मार दिया था. So, I became a topper. Then, I moved on and on in my life and created one more layer called English, by default, whether I like it or not. I created because it's a business language, I need to have it. So this way, basically, it's a force for inclusion into your life. But what about the language which your mother speaks, right? So that's where Honorable Prime Minister Ji has a vision to create our own translation tool which can translate. So as I mentioned, in 2015, it was promised to the nation. But when I joined in 2020 in Ministry of Education, I realized no one is working on it. The biggest challenge of this is you have books in hundreds of pages. Sometimes, if you see one of the Milman Halkia's book, if you remember, engineering, this big, 1200 pages, electrical and electronics engineering. Yes, I still remember. So what about those kind of large contents? So that's the challenge. So that's where we created this Anuvadini. Myself and I selected 4 interns from small remote village areas. One from Uttarakhand, one from UP, 2 from South. We all worked together and created this wonderful Make in India our own translation tool. It takes hundreds of thousands of pages and just creates a Xerox copy on the other side, including it retains the format, just like a Xerox copy. You imagine you went to a Xerox machine and you have taken a Xerox. So that's where it works. Very wonderful. I will demonstrate. Then slowly what I understood is most of the existing large learning models or small learning models, what you call it as an open, Chat GPT or Google or others Meta have, they were trained on internet-based content. That's the biggest flaw what they did, because the internet content is not a real content. If you take example, my mother tongue is Telugu. If you see what we type or what we use in online, right? That's not a real Telugu. It's like a Tinglish, English, all kind of a mix of a language. So what we did very cleverly when I joined, so I have been to PIB, Press Information Bureau. We used to have one secretary, Dr Chandrasekhar, very nice person. I convinced him. I've taken last 50 years of official data of Government of India. Then we approached all AICT colleges, universities, UGC related, language related, state institutes, language institutes. We have taken only the authentic data. And that data is got trained to this model. So that is where the efficiency is coming into picture. But what about the accuracy and the speed? Because it needs to be very fast, right? So we have created this in a way that जब तक चुटकी बजाएंगे आप, आपके सामने translate हो क्या जाए? क्योंकि if you remember, Sam Altman once said, Indians can't create anything like this. What he said is also correct from infrastructure point, but not from a software point of view. No one can defeat Indians in a software. So we taken it as a challenge and we created this, and it works much better than Google. That's a real surprising thing. You will experience it. So we are so fortunate that in 2021, Honorable Prime Minister Ji inaugurated this tool, and we have created a physical books printed and gave it in 14 Indian languages. That's where things started. Then people started saying, why only books? Why not audio? Why not video? So we have keep on adding. We have added 64 extraordinary unique features to it. And we have a lot of surveillance based also, I will show. And we worked for skill ministry on 721 books, AACT books, UGC books, NCRT. आपका कोई बच्चे है तो उसका कभी have you seen any non-English book in his hand? That book was translated using Anurag. So with all lovely bubbly images, it has, but the entire book translates exactly like Xerox copy within the InDesign itself. You don't need to do anything. So wonderful literally what we have created. And lots of people are started writing books. More than 4,300 plus books written by various authors across the country in different languages. Along with that, one more wonderful thing is that we have created sector-specific dictionaries. Example, let's say you want to translate a document related to plumber. You can select in our paid version, you can select a plumber dictionary and you can translate the document, and it basically almost sounds like, it's a plumber related document. Imagine it's something related to law related document. Within law, again, you have a personal law, you have a criminal law, different laws. You can select them. And it basically translates everything towards law related. So similarly, for defense, we will create one more dictionary. So that dictionary will be applied for the documents which you would like to translate. So we did similar for Unani, for Labor Ministry, for Education Ministry. If you are translating a chemistry book, you will simply apply chemistry-based dictionary, which Google don't do. Google takes a generic dictionary. And second thing, Google is a great, I don't want to discount it, but what is the problem with the Google? The problem with the Google is that, when they created this tool, there are only 2 languages in the world. People feel that, thousands of, there are only 2 languages. One language called subject object verb language. The second one is subject verb object language. That's it. So Google is basically US based and owned by US government internally, Pentagon and all the secret agencies. So what they did, they have basically created this tool which is compatible with the for American and European languages. So that's the reason when you try to translate Indian documents, it doesn't translate properly. Because Indian languages are Asian languages, African languages, Chinese, all these languages are context based. So maximum languages are derived from Sanskrit. Even I got surprised that the Chinese language is also derived from Sanskrit, including Arabic. So Russian, of course, the Russians is based of purely on Russian, German, Dutch are based purely on Sanskrit. So basically these are 2 different languages. So what we did when we are creating this, we make sure that it not only translates within Indian language in a contextual based, it can translate any foreign language to Indian language, Indian language to Indian language, Indian language to foreign language, so that we covered both the sides. Another disadvantage of Google, Google Translator basically, it takes word by word and try to translate. So what happens? It doesn't know what is the next word coming. So it doesn't try, understand the entire sentence. So similarly, if you observe, ChatGPT, have you ever observed if you give some prompt, it goes word by word, and it just goes, right? Why? Because you don't understand what is the next word. It will try to see the combination, permutation, combinations, and it tries to put that, right? Related word, that is what. It is called soundex function in technology, nothing rocket science actually. Only maybe other people don't know, so they felt it's a rocket science. But basically this is nothing new also. So there are a lot of other models, but those models are AI based. What is AI based? AI based is a rule engine based. So let us say you want to create a sentence. If you take a first word, the second word, basically there is a rule engine which goes and sees the permutation and combinations of it, and then it will put that word. So that is the reason those engines are very slow. But now the generative AI, because here I said AI and generative AI. So what is the generative AI? Very simple. It generates something. So example, it generates a content, new content. So if you train, it is almost like our kids. If you teach them something, they will basically put that in a different perspective and gives you back, right? So generative is also same. It generates a content based on the training data. So you train, so like how you teach your child, you taught them and they understood what it is. And they started speaking. So that's the same model what here, was used. And there is a technology called deep learning, or I'm not going on the technology side. But the matter of the fact is that the difference between AI and generative AI is that generative AI generates something new out of the trained data. So it always generates something new out of the trained data, but in a format of text, in a format of document, in a format of PowerPoint presentation, maybe in a PDF format, maybe in an audio format, maybe in a video format. That's it. I mean, there's no rocket science here. Maybe there's a hype, which is all because. But the matter of fact is, it can take only few parameters. If you observe, right, how many parameters it can generate. Example, I said, please describe about India in ChatGPT. What it does? It can generate up to 36,000 parameters. That's it. Not more than that. So in order to generate these 36,000 parameters, it has thousands of servers on the background and lot of neural networks, deep learning, lot of churning is happening. And then it filters and there is a transcoder, encoder, it does all that magic and it gives you the output. So this 36,000 is, let us say, that's the reason. Have you ever seen, you need to go and say more, or give me more, or tell me more. Then what is happening? Again, you are generating another 36,000. Again, you are generating. So you may ask, what is the difference between first version of ChatGPT, second version, third version, fourth version? Very simple. First version has only 8,000 tokens. Second version of ChatGPT has 16,000. Then slowly they move to 22,000. The recent 4 version, what they have is 36,000. But what they don't do is that, imagine you give thousands of pages, which has text as well as tables as well as some images. It can't change the text on top of it. That's again disadvantage of Google as well as ChatGPT. So what we did very cleverly, we have patented the technology where it goes through the entire document. Imagine there are 50 images within that document. It identifies all those images. It translates the text on top of the image and it sticks back to the same location. You don't need to do anything. All you need to just click on a button. That's it. My son studies in Air Force Bal Bharati here, next to your. So I always give him the tool, whatever I develop. If he can do it, he is studying 4th standard, he is now 8 years. If he can do it, anyone can. Because he is a small kid. So I think, so we made it so simple, very easy. The another problem is content creation. There is no content creation tool in Indian languages. That's again another biggest disadvantage. Let us say you want to write it in Malayalam or in Kannada or in Telugu, but want to translate that into Hindi. Or you want to write it in Hindi and translate that into Kannada or Telugu or any other language. There is no efficiency. So we have created something called Chutki, wonderful tool. You will love it. It's a content creation, but instant translation. It has so many extraordinary features which I will demonstrate. The second one I already mentioned. What if you have PDF or a Word document or InDesign document? Because there is a lot of publishing softwares like Photoshop, CorelDRAW, InDesign. All that basically has a non-unique code. It means, if you try to copy and paste it on anywhere, it will give you that Dracula kind of image, all that, because it's not a unique. So basically, that's again another complex scenario. A lot of content is in those publishing softwares. So have you ever seen any book published? Right? Example, there is a lot of books. Most of these books got published using either InDesign or CorelDRAW or CorelDRAW Ventura. In worst case, Photoshop. So we have even created a software which takes this InDesign file as it is and translates that into any other language within that file itself. That's a wonderful thing. So as I mentioned, there are a lot of publication houses, where we do sharing, etc., etc. And similarly, we have created another wonderful thing called Speak. Example, let's say you are writing a book or a report and you want to include an image. What you do normally, you will go to Google, you will search for an image, you copy it and paste it, right? It basically attracts a copyright problem. And imagine in your scenario, it may be much more dangerous. Maybe someone is creating some kind of a weapon, you search for it, and you copied it and put it. And said, this is just instead of Israel missile, you just remove Israel and put India. So a lot of copyright related issues. So we created something called SpeakPic. You can speak in Indian languages, and it creates a wonderful copyright-free image for you. You can use it anywhere you. And you can do a n number of parameterization. What I mean by parameterization, let's say you can simply say, I'm just taking an example. There's a Meghalaya girls playing cricket with red color cap, blue color t-shirt, white color pant, yellow color shoes. You can use so many parameters. It will create a unique image. Every time it creates a copyright-free unique image. So that's a beauty. And those boys or girls or whoever comes, they never exist. So that there is no copyright problem at all. So we have created such a wonderful tool. It's called SpeakPic. Then we have identified another biggest problem is that, as sir mentioned, that the Chief Secretary Durga Shankar, he became a Chief Secretary for Uttar Pradesh. So the entire Uttar Pradesh investors meeting happened on Anuvadini because a lot of foreign investors came and their document used to translate using this, and they used to write in Hindi and we used to translate in foreign language. That's where we added foreign language. Now we are so happy that we have 22 Indian languages and 34 foreign languages. Many African languages we have, many European languages we have, almost all popular languages. And if you want one new, we can create it. It's not a rocket science. Now we know how to. But in this scenario, what happened when I visited for this UP investors meeting? Chief Secretary Saab said there is one very extraordinary Shiva temple. आपको जाके देखना है. I also attended that. No, sir, I've been there. Temple was fantastic temple, and few farmers are sitting just next to that temple. It's a small village. I asked, माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी आपको पैसा दे रहे हैं 2000 मिल रहा है क्या? सर 500 रुपए. 500 रुपए क्यों मिल रहा है? तो साहब हमारा पूरा गांव में एक ही पढ़ा लिखा बंदा है. He fills the form because the form is in English. All the web forms in the world is in English. Period. First time we have created web forms. वो एक अनपढ़ आदमी, he don't know how to write and read also. He can fill the form in his own mathrubhasha, but you will receive that form data in your language. Let's say I fill that as a imagine I'm an uneducated person and I fill the form in Telugu. You will receive that in Hindi and English, whatever language, so that I'm also comfortable, you are also comfortable. There is no problem, and we solve this entire puzzle of these web forms. So this is wonderful, another piece we did, and a lot of videos. Basically, if you try to translate, right, it takes hours and hours and hours. Few takes like few days to translate from one language to another language. So we have created a super fast video translation tool with a subtitling, timestamps, etc. It does so fast that within 15 minutes you can translate 1 hour video into 5 different languages. That fast. This is also, we have patented all this for government of, even though I have gated this, but I thought the government में आपको पता है ना कब बोल देंगे निकल जाओ. इसलिए लगा नहीं पहला इसको I will patent to the government so that हमारा देश में बच्चे के लिए इसका भला है. We created a virtual keyboard because Google basically, have you ever used a keyboard in your mobile or that is called Google keyboard. They capture every keystroke of you, so they know what you are doing. So we would like to replace that keyboard with our own keyboard, but voice based, because typing in Indian language are very difficult. So now you can simply speak. It does all that. Immersive, we have lots of other tools, but we are so happy that within this last 1.5 years, we have translated more than 11.2 crore document pages. People wrote more than 4,300 plus books, now even more. Lot of monthly reports from various ministries are getting generated using this. People wrote 4 lakh plus blogs or section notes on various individuals or ministries. 680 plus hours of videos got translated into different languages. More than 48,000 places, as I mentioned, in design and all non-OCR related, all that got translated. I mean, this is what it is, but I will quickly jump towards demonstrating. So when you go to Google and say Anuvadini means in Sanskrit translator. Very simple, thin rocket science. So it has so many features, as I mentioned. We have lot, but we have hidden few because we have created few for Intelligence Bureau. We have created a few for our External Affairs Ministry. Where the IFS officers are getting trained. We have created few for Prime Minister Office. It's called Third Eye. It does all kind of churning of the data. Example, what the other countries are talking about India, about Honorable Prime Minister. Is it positive or negative? A lot of things we did, but few publicly posted. I will demonstrate. First thing is called. So when you go to Chutki, it's. Do you guys know what is Chutki means? एक but second one एक छोटा भीम करके एक छोटा सा कार्टून आता है हाँ उसमें एक छोटा सा लड़की बबली लड़की रहती है आपको आई डोंट नो वेदर यू नो इट और नॉट इफ यू हैव किड्स एट होम सो मे बी देख तो अच्छा लगता है सो दैट स्मॉल बबली गर्ल इज चुटकी सो बेसिकली बहुत फास्ट हो जाता है ट्रांसलेशन what all you can translate into Hindi, English, Assami, Bengali, Gujarati, Kannada, Malayalam, Marathi, Nepali, Odia, Punjabi, Tamil, Telugu, Urdu, Arabic, Chinese, French, German, Italian, Japanese, Korean, Malay, Persian, Portuguese, Russian, Santali, Spanish, Sinhala, Somali, Swahili, Turkish, Hausa, Igbo, Vietnamese, Thai, Hebrew, Hungarian, Swedish, Dutch, Pashto, Afghanistan ka language. Yoruba, we have almost all kind of like, I'm just selecting English and just translate it to Hindi. You can do any language. So here you are writing something. Just write my name. So the minute I write my name, right, I don't need to do anything. It automatically translates. Okay, I've not even touched any button or anything. It is called advanced socket-based programming. Because I don't want people to go and touch that button so many times. I really hate it. फटाक से होना चाहिए कुछ भी दूसरा सी व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस एग्जांपल इफ आई राइट डेट ये तो डेट का मतलब एक खजूर फ्रूट है हिंदी में बट द मिनट आई राइट डेट ऑफ ऑगस्ट राइट देखिए आर यू एबल टू रीड इट इज इट टू स्मॉल फॉर यू तो ये अगस्त की तारीख करके बिकॉज इट अंडरस्टैंड द कॉन्टेक्स्ट इट टेक्स एंड एंटायर सेंटेंस एंड इट ट्रांसलेट्स ऑटोमेटिकली यू डोंट नीड टू डू इट इट्स ऑलमोस्ट लाइक आप देखेंगे अनुवाद के ऊपर ह्यूमन लाइट ह्यूमन नहीं है वो तो हो नहीं पाएगा ये आपका एक साथी बन जाएगा सो ऑलमोस्ट आप कैसे सोचो उतना थोड़ा सा ऑलमोस्ट सिमिलर सेंस में बट इमेजिन यू वांट टू क्रिएट अ टेबल एंड राइट समथिंग यू कैन सिंपली क्रिएट अ टेबल एग्जांपल इफ आई राइट हेलो देखिए वो ऑटोमेटिकली नमस्कार I'm not doing anything, it just does everything for me. If you want to add or delete a column, add a column, everything is available, you don't need to worry. Similarly, I want to add an image example. I can pick an image from Google or I can select any image from my desktop or any place. Example, I'm taking Honorable Prime Minister's image. I can put height, width, etc. I'm just, so the minute I write, समझिए इसको आपको साहब राइट साइड पे है लेफ्ट पे जस्ट क्लिक ऑन वन बटन एज ए मेंशन क्योंकि हमारा सोच ये है कि हमारा छोटे छोटे बच्चे स्कूल में हैं वो भी यूज कर ले लॉट ऑफ स्कूल स्टूडेंट्स आर यूजिंग बाय द इसको फ्लिप करना वर्टिकल करना एनीथिंग यू वांट टू क्रिएट राइट यू कैन इफ यू वांट टू अलाइन सेंटर और एनीथिंग एवरीथिंग टेक्स्ट आल्सो एक्सेलेटेड वो दिखाओगे So if you want to write something on top of it, you can write it. You want to make it big or small or everything is possible. You got the point, right? But let us say now you want to add something here. Example, आपको कुछ delete करना है. आप ऐसे simply delete कर देंगे, delete हो गया. But now you want to write something. Writing in Hindi or Indian language are very difficult, at least in computer. I speak. मेरा नाम बुद्धा चंद्रशेखर मैं दिल्ली में रहता So because we have 2 to 3 speakers here, so it basically picks. You need to have a nice thing. So very simple. Or I don't know how to write Hindi. I'm a South Indian. They can make a select like this. If you want, if you're interested, you can write like this. And if you आप copy कर लेंगे wherever you want, आप paste. Not only this, if you let's imagine, someone wants to write in another Indian languages. Just select that language. Speak. Na per Buddha Chandrasekhar. So whatever you speak, it will basically pick it up. I mean, it has 2 to 3 might start doing properly. So in Malayalam, Kannada, any language, you can do it and simply copy and paste. Very simple, very easy to use. This is a virtual key. This is our own. Because, every time I see Google keyboard, right? Because I work for US government, we know what all we used to capture. So we capture almost every keystroke of yours. Every keystroke. So imagine you are trying to create a confidential document and typing using that keyboard. They already know, you don't need to do anything. They already know everything. So that's the reason they are not worried. They know what is Indian government, what is defense is doing, what is this guy is doing. And some people, what they do, they go and use Google Translate and translate. They already know what. A lot of people wants to file a patent, and they will go and translate. So that is the reason they are doing patenting first, because they already, you don't need to tell them, because system is giving all the information on the background. So this is one, you clear, right? So let us say you want to add any special characters or symbols, etc., etc. You can add all that using, we have put all those things in one place. Let's say, example, you want to add something like this. Very complicated formula. So very difficult to do it in Word also. So simply put it here, it will just comes. If you, instead of you want something else, so L example. Everything is editable, everything is available. But ये तो हिंदी में, but I would like to show you something else. Like, let's say there is an online content which you want to translate. Example, see the mutual trust, mutual respect, I think is pointing to Xingping. So we will take this and we will create this in Chum Chum China language. So this is in English. So Xingping is not able to understand what Modi ji is saying. We published everything in English. So simple, you go here. Just so I will just do it from English. मैं पहले हिंदी करूँगा, उसके बाद में आप. So all I did just copy and paste it. देखिए, everything is translated instantly. आपको कुछ नहीं करना है. अभी यही आपको जिनपिंग को सुनाना तो चाइनीज कर देंगे. Everything is in Chinese. Very simple, very easy. Now, if you want to download this and send it to Jinping, what you will do? Just click it as a Word. Word में आपको Chinese में पूरा enable edit कर लेंगे, फोटो के साथ आ जाएगा. That's it. ये है इसका ताकत. अब समझे, यही आपको और कोई any language, you got the point, right? You will simply go and say Bengali में चाहिए तो Bengali. Along with that, we have a lot of drawing tools also, because we are from education side, so we do a lot of measures in that drawing. So this is another extraordinary tool what we created. Example, I want to create a triangle. I will simply create a triangle like this, and I want to know the angle of it. So as a teacher, I don't need to draw and measure anything. I just click on it. That's it. You can do lots of things like that. Angle with given size, distance, area, slope, eclipse, hyperbola, parabola. I'm sure you would have heard all this in your school and college. Circle with central through point, compass, inner circle, outer circle, semicircle, circular arc, and polygon, regular polygon, rigid polygon, vector polygon, perpendicular, parallel line, angular bisector, tangent, local point, envelope, line, segment, ray, vector, polygon, polyline, point, point on object, attach, detach. You name it, there is no such tool available in the entire world, and it's very simple, very easy to use. So, but my son said, ये सब टीचर के लिए मुझे नहीं चलेगा. ड्राइंग कर दूंगा. I will, I'm not good at drawing our technologies, but देखिए ऐसा आप कुछ भी ड्रॉ कर सकते. Anything. Then we created freehand also. He said, I want to. It's a wonderful tool, and HTML5 based. What it means, anyone can, from any place, anywhere, any device can use this. It has a lot of other features. I don't want to go with all that, but you got the point, right? How it works. So this is Chutki. Okay. Do you have any questions on Chutki? So now I will go to the Buji. I mean, this Buddhi is nothing but in Kalki. Do you see one car? A very unique car. So that's Buddhi. So basically, it's a very small but very powerful. What it does, it translates things so fast. I will take one 5 pages document just to demonstrate. So let's assume this is a document where you have Make in India underlined, centrally aligned, non-white background, and table green color ka beach mein centrally aligned, and there are a couple of images, and there are some formulas. Very crazy doc. So I would like to translate this document using this. So you will go to Buji, click on it. I mean, you need to sign up. It's for 5 pages. It's free. Anyone can use it. So again, I'm taking English to Hindi. You can select any language. Here you can upload either a doc or PDF or any. I will just go here and select the doc. So in the paid version, you can take it any n number of pages. So here, this is called Sweet Large Learning Model. What created these dots. So basically, what it does, the job of this is to create a Xerox copy for you. So it creates a Xerox copy, exactly same, on a different language. So now we are translating from English to Hindi. But the beauty is, this is not only a translator, it has a rule engine also. Because Make in India sub language में Make in India ही. So I have written a rule saying that Make in India को हिंदी में भी Make in India का. आप rule लिख सकते हो, which you can't do it in Google. Then example is टेबल है, आपका पूरा टेबल ऐसे नंबर चेंज मत करो, तो नंबर ऐसे text all you see. So it creates a Xerox copy. But I will show you here. We applied this patenting technology of translating the image. तो आपका कोई ऐसा इमेज है, वो इमेज के ऊपर टेक्स्ट भी चेंज हो के आ जाएगा, वो वापस वही जगह पे चिपक जाएगा. This we patented, and even now Google also can't do it. So this is the beauty of it. Imagine you have hundreds of images. You can simply say change all, translate all, सब लेके वो automatically पूरा काम करके वही वापस चिपका के. So if you have aligned image, text, anything, it just does this. So then special characters कुछ है तो वो भी आ जाएंगे आपके सामने. This is another beautiful feature. I'm not going edit and all, as you know how to do it. अब यही document आपको चाहिए तो आप क्या करेंगे? Simply download a doc, so you will take it. And वो I will just quickly show you this. लेकिन मैंने एक शब्द लिखा नहीं, मुझे हिंदी लिखना पढ़ना भी नहीं आता, तो just for information ये देखो सामने आ गया. Exactly. Now if you want to edit small things, you can edit. Then we have another very interesting thing called video translation. If you have any videos, example, Mali Pradhan Mantri is talking about the internship portal and apprenticeship portal I have created. Yeah. Outside the ये वाली प्रधानमंत्री हिंदी में बात. Now you can do it in the same way. Someone said Malayali. Is anyone from Malayali? Actually, we did a lip sync of same frequency tone. I just also immediately remove it. We can create a problem on if I mute it, then you can. Videos. This you got it, right? ये है हमारा वेब फॉर्म का सर. संजय एक अनपढ़ आदमी हूँ मैं, कोई प्रॉब्लम अभी साउंड नहीं इंग्लिश गुजराती में चालू रखवा माटे तो ऐसे सुनिएगा उसके मातृभाषा बटन पर क्लिक करें। आपका नाम क्या है? बुद्धा चंद्रशेखर। ओके बस आपका सारा क्या है? न्यू दिल्ली। अपना कौशल चुनें। सॉफ्टवेयर आर्किटेक्ट। सॉफ्टवेयर आर्किटेक्ट। अपने अनुभव का उल्लेख करें। 20 साल। रैंडमली चुनें। तो जब आप एक बार एक अनपढ़ आदमी आके वो सुन देगा, फास्ट शुरू कर लेगा मातृभाषा एक बार होने के बाद आप सुन नहीं सकते। पता क्या है? ये तो हिंदी भाषा इसमें बनती है, बट अभी ऑफिसर आई डोंट नो what I will go to as a Indian, I will log in. Select any language, example हिंदी कर दिया, इंग्लिश कर दिया तो इंग्लिश आ जाएगा, कर दिया तेलुगु आ जाएगा, any language. So this is our this example, the same we want to communicate with the Chinese. So that you put it in Chinese. You will get it already in Hindi, Chinese exercise. This is again another what we want. Another is the one where we put all the documents. And the document basically you can challenge. And we have a lot of other features like in Government of India schemes, dictation tool, which most of the Supreme Court, High Court judges are using. More than 6,000, 7,000 judgments translated from one language to all other Indian languages. Madhya Pradesh High Court, UP High Court, Telangana High Court, Andhra High Court, Kerala High Court, Maharashtra High Court recently started using. All of them are using and translating their judgments from their local language to all other Indian languages. We have this Bharat Tube, Bharat Messenger, video live, video analyzer. If you have a video, it analyzes and gives you all the. We have immersive AI. We have lots of features like anything related to voice, 3D audio panel, bass booster, equalizer, noise reducer, pitch shifter, reverb, reverse audio, stereo panel, tempo changer, vocal removal, volume changer. We have something called Bashi. You can speak in one language. You can put that in different types. Example from male to female, female to male. You can put a husky voice, this voice, that voice, and everything. Lot of generative AI based features, and the speak pick is what I mentioned earlier. And we have handwritten translation. We have Jadu Darpan. We have lots of such tools available you can explore. I would like to show you something else. It will be interesting to you. Let us assume on the border. People are there and they are. What this does is it detects, understands, the scenario, what is happening. See, example in this scenario, what they are doing, they have guns, but it's inside their pocket. The minute they lift the gun, right, immediately it will give you an indication, and you will receive a message on your because I switched on the and you will not only receive this, it will take all the photos of that particular incident and it will send it to the higher authority saying that this is what is happening. Only when he lifts, else it won't say anything. ऐसा फोटो लेके आपके सामने we have is a theft detection. If someone is a staff, so you can see the customer is coming, and we can create custom models for him. See, he is picking something. Immediately, it will say theft. आपके ऊपर नीचे ना It takes all the photos and instantly that owner will get to know where it sells. So this is another model what we have. Here in this scenario, they all are just enjoying. And, suddenly there is a fight popped up and they started fighting. Like immediately it will intimate and understands that people are fighting. It's not that they are dancing. Then it realized that one guy picked up a gun. Immediately वो दिखाई देगा कि देखो उसने gun उठा के. So you will get all this kind of a information. A lot of counters. We have so many detection, that exam detection. So like that we have so many other. Along with that, we translate videos also. Example, if you hear this video, is in English. Oh, ये बंद कर. So this is a real human voice. Translated voice actually have satisfies. Dr. Chandrasekhar और मैं हेमेटोलॉजिकल कैंसर के का इलाज कराया इसका मॉड्यूल की शिक्षा it almost sounds like human. What we have created our own Indian AS, which is very important because अपने आप जब वो ChatGPT या कोई इस पे जाएंगे ऐसा लगता है कि कोई फॉरेनर आके हिंदी में बात गूगल मैप्स का देती है sometimes it will be very but क्योंकि that voice is not Indian voice. So ये Indianized voice is what we have created. So that any language to any language when you translate, it sounds like someone of that native language is speaking. That is also patented, and these are all our own. So I will show you one very interesting thing which you want is that, example, we have a website, that internship website, which Honorable Prime Minister just started. It is a very big website. Not very fast, so fast. This is also developed by us. But if you want the same thing in Hindi, आप simply Hindi select कर लेंगे. It translates the entire website into Hindi. इतना ही नहीं, पूरा website translate हो गया. इतना ही नहीं, आप सुन भी सकते हो, which Google don't have.
आपका ग्रीन रिजर्वेशन है भारतीय छात्रों को उनकी पसंद से रिजर्वेशन पूछने में मदद करती है और संगठनों को क्राइटेरिया के आधार पर सर्वश्रेष्ठ टीचर मिलते हैं.
Same you want in different languages. Don't do anything. I mean, now recent Prime Minister scientific advisor, I mean, PM internship portal for Ministry of Corporation. You see here, right? All this is Anuvadani translated. Example, you want the same in Gujarati. So this is also same plugin. And we have Manthan, the Prime Minister's Scientific Advisor's Office. This also has the same plugin. So all example is in English. You want the same in example in Punjab. It does everything, it translates everything in Punjab. इसको बोलते गुरुमुखी script. So you can hear. Oh, I switched it on. Got the point, right? So similarly, we will give a plugin for your website, and it's just one line. Not only this has another feature, like let's say one of the page you want to translate, but you don't want Anuvadini to translate, you want to put your own translation. We have that capability, it automatically does. And another feature which we have, which Google also don't have, is let's say Google does translation of all the pages. Imagine 1 or 2 pages you don't want to translate, you want to keep it in English. So we have that capability. You can say that, please exclude this page and don't translate. But one of the page you want to translate, but not with the Anuvadini translation, your own translation. Because sometimes you may have a couple of very important words, which models don't understand. So simply what you will do, you will write your own and just put it, and it picks that. So we have all those customized, elements and entities in it. So there is a lot of, we do a lot of custom development also. We did so many for one we created for IB, one for CBI. We created one for not border security force, but some office related to CRPF, I think. We do all that, and we train the models, custom models, and we create a custom applications if you want. So, but when we say AI, right? Basically, if you learn and look into only AI, I think it is only a part of it. But the important thing is DI and VI data. Because example, let's say in the border you collect so much of information, confidential information. That's called a raw information. It's a raw data, right? That raw data needs to be translated into a meaningful information so that you can take a decisions. Example, let's say there is a conflict between terrorists and our forces. So you want to understand, what is their strength, how many they fired, how many we fired, and what date it is happening. Maybe let us assume every Friday it is happening. So you can understand that, okay, we need to get prepared for Friday, right? And what areas it is happening and on what time it is happening. Sometimes the time is also important. They will choose a time every time, on a evening 4 p.m. is, what they're selecting. So basically, the AI is the only intelligence, artificial intelligence part, but BI and DI is very, very important. If you understand how to capture that information and translate that into a meaningful information, so that you can take a decisions on top of it. Now you know that every Friday there's something happens. So you will prepare for Friday, right? You will put more forces on Friday. On Saturday you will get relaxed because these guys are not going to do it. So at least you can predict, because prediction is very, very important in all three of your forces. Because imagine someone is every time crossing the border and going back, crossing the border and going back. You know that he is at this point of time, this day is coming and he will cross the border and go back. So they are trying to provoke. So and let us say there are drones, it capture a lot of information. So for a surveillance purpose. So we know that few people are crossing the borders, how many, from where. So we will get all that slice of information, but we need to translate that into a meaningful information. Maybe sometimes what happens, there is a simulation is happening, because sometimes there is war, maybe comes once in a year, or maybe once in 5 years. But we need to simulate the war so that you will train your forces. Right? So AI, BI, DI will help to simulate all this data so that you can recreate such kind of scenarios when there is no such scenario. So I think all these are important for all the forces, and we are happy to help. Anyways, normal text, anyways, we will do it. But for the confidential, what normally we do is something called this RAG. So we have created similar for all these people. What they do is it's yours. It's a separate private tenant. What we call. What it means is has a boundary. No one can breach that boundary and come into that. You can put all your confidential documents there, and you can churn and understand the past history and current data and take a future decisions. So it does all these three, past, present, and future. And based on that, you will take some decisions. Sometimes you need to go through thousands of documents. It's very difficult, right? So basically, this chart bot, what we create on top of it, on top of RAG, it basically you will question, it will reply back. So for others, they have taken in 3 to 4 languages. Then we did for secret agencies, like they are speaking in Pashto and various other languages. So it identifies different speakers, and it will basically translate that in a command prompt itself, it will give you in example, if you want it in Hindi, it will give you what is that they're speaking in Hindi. Such features they have, and we can create custom also. We want one. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Michelle?
Just want to ask you that this Vagni tool that you developed. So, while you were speaking, I also checked online. So, yeah, it's available on the site. So, all these tools are available to general public.
5 pages.
Translation of 5 pages is free. And is there a application developed for mobiles, Android application or something, or is there a plan to do that?
Available models doesn't work. It occupies 85% of your mobile RAM. I don't tell you. Yeah. I'm a man of word. If I create something, I will create a list. Else I don't create. That's the way I work. So I decided not to create because it doesn't work.
Where does this all processing happen? So it will cache.
It's
So you have a server and all.
we have rented server from Microsoft, but that everything resides within our campus. And everything is, the backup is also within our country. One backup in North, one backup in disaster. Nothing goes out.
Sir, most of us here are from area studies. So like someone is trying to learn area studies, like somebody is trying to learn Mandarin or somebody is trying to learn Japanese or Korean. So sir, in that case, we are not language students as such, but for some very basic language we need to know. So in that case, sir, does this AI tool, does it have any feature for learning at least the basic language? We have dual language there.
Created one app for monkeys. So, he is a monkey. So every day I change the path. So that his logical thinking, creative, critical thinking will increase. See, we need to connect the right and left, which we normally don't. So now we need to engage, right? So gamification is the best way of doing it. One kind of a small app, we can create one. It's very simple. But normally no one asks, we never create. No one asks, we will create.
Sir, does it work in a standalone mode? Like for defense, ideally, we want it in a standalone mode. So, standalone means that we have localized area wherein we are.
You have internet.
So, internet is a mandatory requirement.
One we created offline, one for one of the secret agency. Again, the same problem. What happens every time the libraries they want to be, but they are running in the old version which we have created.
So, if we have an infrastructure for that, can it be in a localized?
One
Exactly.
all the NVIDIA missions, each mission costs. So instead of buying, we rented. So every infrastructure. That's the reason we are asking for payment. That is the reason it's because not that we don't want to give it for free. But now we created a separate Section 8 company. We started charging people because we are not able to afford the 5 crore rupees every month to give. Why is up to loot mission? We can't take even 1 rupee out of it. It's a Section 8 non-profit. The matter of the fact is it has so many GPUs and it consumes so much energy. But you can ring fence it so that no one can access it. Now we see tribal ministry, they are also using our servers because they went to NIC, they went to these all people, but they understood no one has these servers. We are also, because I worked for Microsoft, I know them. So luckily, I booked, blogged, or maybe forcefully. So somehow, we got this 20 NVIDIA GPUs. nowhere available.
So it remains for me to thank you immensely. Actually, it was an eye-opener.